Buenos dias, Gunners Collective. Back at it, you already know. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. For life, homie. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. She said, what? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Tirada with the bad habit. Bye-up, bye-up, bye-ya-ya-ya-ya-ya. Ba-da-ba-ba, ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Real smooth like. In a menudo style in direct fashion, you already know we're going to get straight into it. And look, trip out. Very controversial topic, huh? It's going down. I spoke on it the other day, and I got to speak on it again just a little bit, just a smidgen, right? That's what they call a smidgen, like a motherfucking pigeon, like one of Tyson's pigeons. Trip out. Keefe D's gone, right? His ass got arrested, locked up, Tupac murder. Man, didn't see this one coming, or did we? Orale Vlad, I know Vlad did. Vlad TV, man, a lot of people are pointing the finger at the direction of Vlad, man. He's gotten a lot of criticism for this guy getting incarcerated. But Vlad didn't do shit. You know, I'm the first one to tell you, I don't care for Vlad TV just because I think he asks a lot of incriminating questions. Questions that could get people caught up. Situational questions. Questions that, hey, albeit, you know what I mean, might get him some views and get him some feria. You can't be mad at the individual for asking, Holmes. It's the answers that's what count. You know, vatos don't have to answer nothing they don't want to. And when it comes to Black TV, let me make sure my eyebrows look good. Because they say I paint them on, I'm wearing eyeliner, all kinds of weird shit, right? So I just got to make sure that, you know, I look good in the hood. So anyways, you know, this vato asks his questions, and people are going to give the answers they want to. You know, you can't fault a man for asking. You know, closed mouths can't get fed. But when you feed him the answers that he so much is looking for, the controversial answers for the controversial topics, well, then that's on you, eh? If you have to go sit down behind who's watching, and best believe everybody's watching. When I say everybody, everybody. I mean, everybody's watching. They want to see what the next man has to say. And something like an unsolved murder case is definitely going to pique the interest of the administration. It's definitely going to pique the interest of law enforcement. And in this case, it seems to have. No statute of limitations, man. You can't just get away with murder, man. That's not the way it goes down. If you're out there claiming to be the man, then you're going to have to sit down like a man and do your time. But you see there's a big old baboso like that on the thumbnail. And that guy's name is P. Diddy. Never really cared for the individual. You know, I'm from the era of the East-West controversy. I'm from the era, the 90s, 2000s era. I'm from that era, Holmes, when we were set tripping on one another, right? It was just music. At the end of the day, man, Tupac and Biggie had their own bullshit going on. Was it an industry beef? One never knows. You know, we'll never know. Both of these guys are gone. Whatever the case may be, there was a lot of people at that time that took that beef very, very fucking serious. I had homeboys that wouldn't bump East Coast music and homeboys that were from the East Coast that wouldn't bump West Coast music just based on the disrespect that was happening amongst the rap game, right? They felt like, you know, and that's how it is. Things that rappers do affect everyday life. They affect the world, especially when you're involved in gangs and things of that nature, because the streets recognize the streets, man. And if someone's said tripping and they're disrespecting a whole side, well, then that whole side is going to rise up and back the play of that vato from that side. Now, of course, you know, we had Tupac on the West Wigadle, and of course, they had Biggie on the East Igadle. And that's just how it was. There was a lot of people that said, hey, there's fucking rappers, Holmes. They ain't going to do nothing until bodies started to drop. And the people were like, oh, shit, eh? Guard! This is real. Yeah, it's fucking real. Real life. Anytime someone says anything, and they disrespect another man, the game is very real. You know, you don't know how those people are going to take it, and it can just get very, very ugly. Now, Keefe D gets arrested 27 years later for the murder of Tupac Shakur. I'm a very big Tupac fan. I think a lot of us are right here on the West Coast. You know, we truly believe that not only was he a rapper, and albeit, man, found himself caught up in some situations, that's neither here nor there. Shit happens, right? But at the same time, man, he was basically for the people, by the people. That guy was one of us that was out there really speaking the real, was a very confrontational individual, had a lot to say, and had a voice. And when you have the type of voice Tupac had, man, people want to shut that down. They don't want you to say what they're trying to hear, because that gets in people's pockets and fucks up their money flow. And basically, when you're disrespecting people or when you're speaking your mind, there's always going to be those people that don't like it because they feel like the shoe fits that they wear. Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, whatever the fuck, he changes his name every year. This guy got a lot of money. This guy has been heavy into the game for a long time. But if you start to really look at everyone around him that he either put on or that put him on or that he was around, they're all gone. You know, his wife is gone. His business partners are gone. His artists are gone. You know, Craig Mack out. You know, Biggie Smalls out. Andre Harrell out. Kim Porter out. You know, there's a lot of people that seem to be dropping around this guy. Now, is it just coincidence? Is he just a healthy motherfucker because he drinks protein shakes every day? I don't know. You know, I can't sit here and tell you because I'm not the fucking cucaracha under his foot. But one thing I can tell you for sure is it seems a little bit mysterious and it seems a little, just a tad bit weird, right? You know, that's just the way I see it. You know, now the brown man shouldn't have a voice in this, right? Because what is this? Black business because it's black individuals. But hey, brown people buy the music. Brown people listen and go to the concerts and purchase tickets. So I think we have a voice to something to speak on. And I'm going to be that voice right now. So that's guy, I know I'm not elected. I know I'm not the one. But at the end of the day, I'm going to speak my 2 cents, my mind. You know, Keefe D is sitting down, and now I'm starting to hear rumors that he could quite possibly, having been affiliated with P. Diddy, could be pointing blame or placing blame on P. Diddy. Now, that man can't point fingers at nobody because everything he said is self-admission. See, he was fine. Everything was good. The case was cold than a motherfucker. Iceberg Slim, right? The case was like one of those cases that not was only swept under the rug, but no one was really tripping on it until he started going on these interviews with Vlad and other interviews and saying that he was heavily involved. You know, when you say that you're involved in something, if you think you're not going to go do time for it or you think they're not at least going to look into it, then you're fucking a fool, more than a fool than I thought you were for saying something in the first place. You know, cases that are left cold should be just that, left cold, homes. You know what I mean? Now, I understand that there's a lot of Tupac fans, me being one of them, a lot of people that want answers. But I didn't need answers like that. I don't care who did it. At the end of the day, we don't even know if the fucking Vato's dead. There's been a lot of people saying they've seen him and John Lennon chilling with an alien. We don't know, you know, if Tupac is gone or not. But those that have a normal mind like myself, come on, we know, bro. The Vato's been gone for 27 fucking years. He got blasted. He got shot. Now, what's the reasons behind it is the real true question. You know, does it have something to do with gangbanging or that fight that happened after the Mike Tyson fight in the MGM Grand? Maybe. You know, think about it. You know, let's just be real for a minute and put all the bullshit to the side and all the rap fan shit to the side. And let's just be real and let's be honest, gente. You know, if someone stops someone out, man, they're going to come back. They're going to come back for reals. Or if you say something disrespectful to them, like in the case of Nipsey, they're going to come back for reals, right? Now, of course, Nipsey didn't say anything disrespectful. You know, he was being as cool as they could, as cool as a cucumber, man. He was being cool. And the Vato just felt some type of way, felt disrespected and came back, allegedly, right? And then that was another soldado we lost, another voice for the people, someone that really had everybody in mind, not just black people, but brown as well. You know, and the Woods, brother. You know, he was speaking for all that were going through poverty and that are coming up from the ghetto and going through water rules. These are the type of individuals that I fucking respect and that I fight for. Now, Keefe D grew up, like he said, played on the same Pop Warner football team as Suge Knight, grew up in the hood, grew up banging coke, red keyway, you know, got a lot of love for the Crips, a lot of respect for them. And I understand that they don't play games, man. They're not the type of group to sit there and play with it. They're going to get real with it. That's just it. So you best deal with it. Now, Keefe D has said on several occasions that he was the driver in this car and that he's not the one that actually shot Tupac, but he was there. He was in the mix. Well, in the state of California, man, one thing is for sure, whether you're the one that shot out that car, if you were in that vehicle in the commission of a crime, you're just as guilty, man. Now, those of us that have been on the other side of the fence, that have been locked up, we understand, Holmes, it's usually the one that pulls the trigger that's liable for it. But that's not the way the courts see it. The way they see it is anybody who was involved or had prior notice of this fucking crime. You know, if you jumped in, the Vato got a fucking stick and they're saying, hey, let's go find him. Come on now, man. I'm not going to put too much on the plate, but I'm just saying, though, it's time for you to eat that turkey sandwich up. Dark meat or light meat, it's on you. Now, how does P. Diddy get involved in this? You know, from what I heard and the rumors that are going down and what people are speaking on is that he had some type of interaction with Orlando Anderson, the nephew that's now deceased of Keefe D and Keefe D, and that he could have quite possibly slid them a bag to take care of this for him. Now, these are just conspiracy theories. These are rumors, gente. You know, when I hear this, I laugh because unless you were fucking on that other end of the phone or you were right there in the room, how would you ever know? Now, if Keefe D decides this is his defense and he decides to bring everyone down around him, he's a 60-year-old man. You never know. Maybe he's had a change. He's went to the Lord. Maybe something has changed in his mindset where he's like, you know what? He feels guilty. He feels like the honorable thing to do is to go down for this crime. Now, if you want to be honorable, it's to be honorable on your own. On your own, like a Michael McDonald and Patti LaBelle song. Be on your own, take the case, run with that, Holmes. If you're guilty, if you feel you're guilty in your mind, go ahead and do that, sit down. But when you start to point fingers in the direction of others and bring others down with you, now that ain't gangster, homie. You know what I mean? Man need to breathe, and that ain't gangster. What did Jay Diggs say? That ain't gangster. That ain't commendable. That ain't respectable, especially when you're in the street game still and you claim to be one of those or claim to be active in that and participate in that. Then you should know better already, so you should do better. You should understand that bringing people down around you, man, that ain't cool. Now, if P. Diddy did have some involvement in this case, I don't think we're ever going to know. Will he be charged is the question. Guilty or not guilty? Will he be charged? I think he has too much money to be charged. Now, you say, well, OJ had money. Bill Cosby had money. That bitch Martha Stewart had all the money. Yeah, they definitely did. But this is a little something different. See, this is a little street, a little ghetto, a little hood. This is Tupac's murder that we're talking about here. This ain't embezzlement. This ain't taxes. This ain't none of that, Holmes. This is the murder of someone who was basically against the system. So damn well behind the scenes, man, motherfuckers don't really care. There's those of us that do. We give a fuck because we liked his music and we felt his rhythm. But there's a lot that don't, man. Let's just be honest with you, Hey, c'est la vie, good riddance. That's what a lot of people said. He was making a lot of noise in the industry because he was a revolutionary. Not only was he a rapper, man, but he was someone that was out there rocking the narrative for us, trying to uplift the spirits of the people that don't have shit. See, I grew up not having nothing. I grew up having NWA and Tupac music until that was ripped away from me with the demise of Eazy-E and, of course, with the demise of Tupac. It seems like everyone who's really out there speaking for us and trying to push us forward, man, gets run back, gets pulled by their earlobe. They're out of here, right? They die at a very young age. Now, Biggie, on the other hand, there's some mystery to that case, and I actually have some inside knowledge on some of that mystery, but I'll never speak on it because unlike Keefe D, man, I'm not here to shit on my own shit in my own shade, right? I'm not here to shit on my own parade. It's not what I do. I don't want no involvement, and I have none. But let's just say, man, I believe Biggie died due to retaliation. I believe that he died because people felt he was liable for the Tupac incident, even though I don't believe Biggie ever was liable for it. I think he was a victim of circumstance, man. He was one of the youngest up-and-coming rappers and great rappers that we had, one of the most versatile and story, you know what I mean? He could tell a story like a motherfucker. Hey, baby, right? But baby's no longer here. Fato's gone. It's just the way it goes down. Now, Keefe D is arrested, right? And he's sitting down. What's he going to say? What do you think? I seen an interview TMZ did with Suge Knight over the phone. They asked Suge if he was called to be a witness in this case. He was in the car. He got shot as well. He got grazed. If he would say anything, and of course, he stuck to his guns. He said, hell nah, I ain't doing none of that. He don't wish fucking death or wish incarceration upon his worst enemy, man. In fact, he said free Keefe D in them exact words. He felt that Keefe D, although maybe said too much or put himself in a position to be, locked up forever, that he even said that Keefe D was not the shooter and Keefe D's full of shit, right? Of course, is that him just trying to cover up and be a real gangster? I don't know. You know how Suge is. He's up and down, man. He's all around. No disrespect towards Suge Knight, but you can't believe a word that motherfucker's saying. You don't know what he's saying. But all I could say is he did righteous by that dude by saying, you know what? Hey, man, I ain't got nothing to say about that. And if I was called to take the stand, it ain't going to happen. Now, when it comes to Keefe D, when he's sitting in that interrogation room and he's facing all this time, does he have a come to God moment? Is he going to say, you know what? I'm going to take this all on my plate. I did that. Fuck it. You know what I mean? I shouldn't have ran my mouth. Or is he going to point fingers in P. Diddy's direction? Because Diddy is over there sweating bullets right now. Think about it, gente. Think about it. When you're being implemented all over the world, when people like myself are making videos with your face on the thumbnail, they're putting it out there. It can be spoken to existence that maybe you had something to do with it. Now, I don't know if he had anything to do with it. If he did, that's going to blow my mind like I think it's going to blow everyone else's mind. But it's feasible, gente. It's feasible, man. When someone's disrespecting you, your label, there's a lot of money on the line, your artist, maybe you feel like, hey, let's take this shit ghetto. Let's take this shit gutter. Let's take it to the streets. See, the rap game, the hip hop industry is not too far from the streets. If you proclaim the streets, if you rap about it, if you talk about it, if that's what you're talking about, what's up, scared motherfucker? You got to be about it, right? And sometimes that line is blurred, man. It happens all the time in Chicano rap, North and South, A lot of the shit that gets said is disrespectful, but it's real, man. It's how motherfuckers are feeling. So, sometimes them lines could blur and motherfuckers could come up short. It's part of the game. You know, we see it with like vatos like Swifty Blue, vatos like Chito Ranas that is incarcerated, you know, but is out disrespecting people, stealing change and spitting on them. We see a lot of different things, man. And we say to ourselves, damn, I guess it really is real. Yes, it's absolutely real, man. Anytime a real person in real life is really breathing on a microphone, anything he says can and will be used against you. Facts. Now, does P. Diddy have anything to do with this case? I guess we're going to all just have to sit back and see. But if he did, man, you know, he's very reckless in letting a motherfucker that has a big mouth like that run around. Very reckless for even having willings and dealings with people that basically can't hold their mother. It's very untrustable, man. I don't know, you know, but at the end of the day, I guess we're going to have to sit back and see, right? You know, for me to sit here from the outside looking in and tell you guys that P. Diddy definitely was involved. Oh, man, he wouldn't be sweating it. Nah, he's sweating it because people are talking about him, eh? Think about it. Would you be nervous too if someone was fucking implicating you in a murder or speaking your name? You know what I mean? Hey, but maybe can get a motherfucker maybe locked up forever. You know, there's people sitting down right now incarcerated. I've been cellies with them that had nothing to do with nothing to do, man. Didn't do shit. And are still sitting there for the duration because nobody wants to believe them. Nobody wants to fight for them. It's people like myself, people like Dubs, other people like Big Rojo that have voices out here on YouTube platforms, man, that fight for gente. You might not think we don't. You might think we don't not. Right? But at the end of the day, it's people like us that sit here, man, and say, you know what? Hey, we keep it real. We tell you our stories, man, with the hopes that the intentions that people would recognize it and get the fuck up out the way and do good, man. That's what we do it for. I say their names because they're a couple of real individuals that I've had the chance to befriend on this YouTube shit, man, that I know what the fuck they're talking about. Now, when it comes to P. Diddy, you know, I've never liked him. I thought he's a slimy greaseball type individual. I thought he utilized his artists and I thought he utilized the people around him. But that doesn't make him a killer. That doesn't make him, you know, wrong in anything that happens around him. Now, there are some fucking weird coincidences. You know, it seems like everyone around him is dropping like flies. But hey, like I said, life is funny. It's mysterious. It works in different ways. You know, isn't it funny? Like, Sasuke, you'll see something and all of a sudden that's the first commercial that pops up, or you'll see a white car and all of a sudden that's all you see all day is white cars. It's the way the world works. It's all in the mind, man. You know, if it's fucking ingrained in your mind, then that's all you see. You forget about everything else. And that's what's happening with P. Diddy right now. People are talking about him being involved with this. All we know for sure is Keefe D said a little too much and put himself in a situation. We're going to see the fuck how he gets himself out of it. Now, he went and made his first court appearance the other day. Of course, it was a quick turnaround. In 2 weeks on the 19th, he will be having court again. And you already know, anyone that's been locked up, you know what it is, man. This case ain't going to be resolved for at least a year, maybe longer. He's going to keep pushing it, get his defense going. But basically, all they have is his words, his own words, you know. They're going to bring old witnesses, people that were there in the vicinity. But really, if they had something 27 years ago, they would have had something. They don't. They had this man's own voice, you know, and I'm sure his defense will be, man, he was just talking. He was just telling stories. It was all fun and games. Or he'll start pointing fingers and implementing others. And in that case, if P. Diddy did have involvement, he better fucking bounce straight up. Anyways, with that being said, man, who's guilty, who's not guilty? Do you think that someone needs to be held accountable for the Tupac murder? Well, obviously a lot of people do, because there's a big outcry and people are happy that this guy Keefe D is sitting down. I myself am free Keefe D. The reason I am is because you can't hold a baboso liable for fucking his own big mouth, man. Hey, maybe he was just saying something to get clout or to get views or to help people out. And as far as Vlad goes for asking these mysterious questions that he asks, if you guys already know what time it is, why the fuck do you fuck with him? You know he's going to do things, man, to get you caught up. That's just the way it's in his nature. He's not trying to. I don't believe he's a Fed plant or none of this that people say. I just believe he's the fucking journalist that asks the critical questions. And if you give him those critical answers, well, then you done buried yourself. With that being said, gente, I just wanted to give my 2 cents on the situation. You know what it'd be like. With that being said, I hope that you move smooth with a purpose. Get everything that you want coming to you. And regardless of how this works out, man, you know, Tupac is gone. That's all that really should matter. With that being said, thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. Please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Turn it to all so that way you're abreasted of all the dope content I'm bringing. You know, and I want to see a comment, man. Do you think Diddy had involvement in this or do you think he didn't? I myself, I don't know. I don't know. The way I feel, he's a fucking slimy guy. You know what I mean? You just never know. You know, the motherfucker got fucking Jamie Foxx over there doing the federal combunctions. You just don't know. Or do we? And we just don't want to say nothing. Bang, bang. The gun.